What is going on, franchise world? I'm Nick Powles. I'm going to be joined by Charles and Nicola, my co-host, in a second. Welcome to season 2, episode 10. This time we are going to do another Meet the Zor. The idea for anybody watching this clip, if you are looking to buy a franchise, this will give you insight into Showhomes, which happens to be our guest today with Matt Kelton. Or if you're a franchise broker and you're looking for a little bit more information about how do you position a brand, we're going to dive into that. So let me bring in Charles and Matt. Matt, thank you for giving us some time today. Would love for you to give the positioning statement on Showhomes. So let's start with the why Showhomes. Like, why would anybody, whether you're a buyer or a broker, have interest in being a part of your family?
Well, Showhomes, we're America's largest home staging and design network. We've been around since the 1980s. We're really the largest player in that space. And, we're a brand that have around 55 locations in 19 states. And we're dealing with people who love design, love watching HGTV, love going to open houses for fun. And it's a business with, great unit economics. Our average franchisee, gross is around $500,000 a year. Our top guys are doing around $1.5 million. So it's a business that has some solid unit economics behind it. But we're going to have our biggest week this week actually than we've ever had. We're actually going to close 3 deals, which I've never done before in my history of franchising. So it's kind of bizarre doing this in a pandemic. But we're getting a lot of people who they're ready to change. Life is short. They want to do something they're passionate about, and I've not seen people as passionate about a brand as Showhomes. They love design and love real estate, and it's an interesting culture and definite cool business model for sure.
Matt, getting to know the Showhomes brand, and what I found interesting was how Showhomes migrated, right? I should say naturally evolved from staging to actual design.
Right.
And I just, we frequently ask franchisors, and I think many don't have a good answer for this, which is why now. And I think you brought up the value proposition, which is in light of COVID, people have a newfound, at least approach to their homes, its value and what they want to enjoy.
Well, absolutely. And, I think so many people are working from home now. They're realizing that it makes an impact having a great home. And so we're seeing people move and expanding their home office and things like that. And so, but it's funny. I know you're a longtime attorney. We sold a franchise this week to 2 attorneys in Nashville. And they're like, I'm tired of working 12-hour days, worrying about the billings, commuting an hour and 10 minutes each way. I've got young kids, and life is just too short, and I want to do something I'm passionate and love. And so that's when we talk to people, and we want people who are really all in about real estate and design. If they talk to us and say, well, I'm comparing you, an expense reduction analyst, and a Liberty Tax, well, you should do that. Go do something else, because we want someone who's really focused like a laser for what we're looking to do. And there are people who love this space, and that's what they're interested in. And we're also getting people, what's interesting is people who are formerly really only wanting to look at food, and with the COVID changes, they're changing kind of what they're looking at. And so they're opening up to different kind of home-based service companies that are essential businesses. So that's been another change.
Matt, when you were giving your opening statement, and I would love your insight on this, you hit financials as right. This is what you could potentially make. But beyond that, so you hit that from a positioning, and then you just went all into passion. So right. I'm curious on your opinion, because you're obviously on the 3 deals that closed. The financials, in my opinion, end up being a check mark. Like you're going to know what you want to invest and the return that you want to get. But from what we're hearing from other franchisees, like that's all that is a check mark. Yet franchisors, like that seems to be the easiest pathway to positioning a brand and saying why now. Yet right. What I'm hearing is you have 3 people that were passionate about life changes, right. Decide to make a change during COVID because they're sick and tired of not doing the thing that they care about. Are you finding that even though that's a part of the success of Showhomes, that it's not the why? Like the why ends up being deeper than the financials?
Oh, absolutely. And I think these people are leaving really lucrative careers, and we're real upfront with them. It's a good year and a half or 2 years till you can replace any kind of income, and it's not a guarantee. And there's some great finance options right now, like the SBA has the $150,000 Express program where they pay the first 6 months, and those things help for sure. But at the end of the day, time is your biggest asset. I mean, I've worked from home for 15 years, and I haven't missed a baseball game, a band concert, and that's at the end of the day so much more important than titles and prestige or any of that kind of stuff. And so that's one aspect, but it's also being able to do something that you love and not dealing, for franchising, I've been doing this for 20 plus years. I was in corporate America and dealing with the politics and wondering if you're going to get laid off and just, the kind of stuff that you deal with in that aspect. But being your own boss, and not only being your own boss, but also doing something that you're excited about. We do personality profiles of all of our incoming people and skills assessments. And we want to make sure this is something that's going to get them out of bed in the morning. And for them, they love working. They don't care if they're working 10, 12-hour days. In the reality, that's 50, 60-hour weeks. It's a lot harder than corporate America jobs is the reality, but you're doing something that you love and you're passionate about. And those are the critical pieces, and the people who make it are the ones who love that. The ones who tend to struggle or don't make it are the ones who don't have those assets and that kind of drive, because you have to have that if you're going to make it, because franchising is hard work, and we don't sugarcoat it with people, but it's doing something that they love.
Hey, Matt, let's drive a little into the value proposition, right?
Sure.
When we're working with franchisors, and when people ask, should I franchise? Really, a big factor is whether or not you could deliver value, unit economics to your franchisees, right?
Right.
And for Showhomes, it seems like as your network grows, those unit economics, that value to your franchisees become more compelling. If you could just speak to at least the value of what the system gives your franchisees, I'd be interested in hearing that.
Well, we have our complete package. It's $85,000 to get into this, and the franchise fee is $49,900. But they're going to get, that's going to include that $85,000, $20,000 in inventory. It's going to include your website, legal contracts, your marketing materials, all the various software tools, vendor programs, our online manual system with over 1,000 pages of documentation, your training. We pay for a home staging certification, and so it really is a turnkey package. And, we tell people there's two roads you can do. If you want to do staging and you just want to do it by yourself and be a solo stager, you can get a certification and try to figure this out on your own. We want people who want to come in and build $1 million business. And, the tool to do that is Showhomes. And we know how to do it. And we've been doing it a long time. And we're going to give you all the programs. And, we can tell you what to do, what not to do. But you're going to get there a lot faster for us. And then there's the exit strategy aspect. And that's really where you make your money in franchising. And I don't think we probably talk enough about that. But that's kind of our goal. And, when we talk to people that we've done everything, we've been doing this for 35 years. We've made the mistakes you would make to trying to do this. And, people who try to do it on their own also, you're like an island. You don't have that family and that system to lean on. And so for us, providing the training, the support, and the infrastructure, it's just, you're going to ramp up way quicker. And it just, to me, I'm a big fan of franchising just for those reasons, because you're going to get to that next level with support. And, I saw as a franchisee, I went from myself with another brand, ramping up and then selling. And that's the end goal for that we have for franchisees as well.
Matt, if you flash back pre-COVID, and not that your excitement was not high about the opportunity, but right. COVID hits, and clearly there's a shakeup to job stability, right. And now we're seeing the next wave of those that are north of $100,000 have turbulence with their jobs, because right. that's the next layer, and those are the ones that are starting to get laid off or getting warned that this could be coming. Cases are rising. It's creating disruption in stability of jobs. Does your excitement pre-COVID change to your excitement now from a franchise growth standpoint, knowing that the pool is filling up with more buyers?
I'm absolutely way more excited, to be honest. From a system perspective, we were up 30% revenue as a franchise system a year ago, and we're going to be pretty flat the first half of this year, and really didn't lose a franchise. And if anything, we added an additional 6 units, and so I think that's a good thing right there. But just to be honest, I've been doing this 14 years, and it's been hard to sell franchises the last few years with the economy being really strong. I don't know, they're triple the number of franchises in the last 10, 15 years. I mean, there's a lot of really good competition out there as well. So it's not just jobs, it's other competing franchisors. But yeah, I mean, just the quality of leads that I've seen in the last 6 weeks or so, I think there was is unlike anything I've seen in my career. I think there was a little bit of shell shock in the first couple of weeks, March, April. But since, the first part of May, it's just been kind of amazing. And June was just massive. And we're getting leads like just the quantity like I've not seen. We work with a lot of broker groups, and I'm hearing the same thing from all the broker networks. And it's just it's not just the quantity, it's the quality. It's, people, and a guy with major producer from a Hollywood TV studio. I don't know how he found out about us, but he's looking. I mean, lawyers, CEOs. People who you would not think of buying a little home staging franchise who are now looking at the next level. And the reality is it's going to be hard for someone, a middle-aged person especially, to find a 6-figure job these days. And so what are you going to do? And if you can do something to replace that, but also do something you love, I think it's going to be staggering, the growth we're going to see in the next year. So hopefully franchisors are getting ready and getting aggressive, because I think it's going to be an awesome second half for sure.
When you're talking to these potential candidates, right? And I know you just mentioned about replacing income and uncertainty. What are the main drivers they're communicating to you as they reach out?
They want to do something that they love doing. They're tired of doing a job that's not fulfilling. You normally, an old guy told me once ago, old guy, probably my age now, that they talk to you because there's a rock in their shoe. There's a reason that they filled out a form. And so they're unhappy or unfulfilled. And so that's normally one aspect. Sometimes they've lost their jobs, but a lot of times they love real estate, they love HGTV, but, they're looking, it's beyond just the money aspect. I think that they want to be able to, when they look at our unit economics and see that they can actually scale this and do some pretty decent volume, that's exciting. But they want to do something that they enjoy. But, another big aspect of this, we have a large number of husband-wife teams who do this. And there aren't a lot of jobs where you can work with your wife. I know, Nick, you and your wife work together, but most places you can't do that. But, we have people he was a banker and she was a designer. I don't know where else you could have a company where you could do that together. And so that's one of the big drivers. And one of the, the 2 of the 3 people that we just sold this week are couples who they're not ready to retire. They're, baby boomer, age wise, and they want to do something together that they love doing. And so that's something, but we're also getting some younger people, the lawyers I was telling you about, they're early 40s with young kids, and they want to spend more time with their families. And so that's a big aspect. People, I think they've gotten a taste for working from home, and the thought of having to go back to work, it's not real attractive. So how can I continue to work from home and spend more time with my family is a big driver for sure.
Matt, the question that I want to close with is, you flash forward end of 2021 and you think back on the last 18 months. If things go really well, what is one thing you've done as a business? And if things have gone really poorly, what would be the regret that you have?
Well, I think if we've done well, then the big thing is the new people that you bring in, are they ramping up? We want them to hit a certain revenue level, and we want them to be successful. And I think that, you fail when, you bring in new people and they don't make it. Really, that first year is really critical. And we spend a lot of time and energy on the ramp up aspect of it. And so, our goal is, are they well capitalized? Do they have a plan? Are they following the system? And so I would say making sure that, our retention rate is high. And we also do franchise business review. Their satisfaction scores. We measure that as well. So are they happy with the job we're doing? And so, another piece, just before we break, I do want to touch on that's had a big impact on us that we're doing virtual meet the team days. That's had a huge impact. It's a 3-hour Zoom call. They meet face to face with my CEO in Nashville, my operations team, they're based, in California and Tennessee. And then we'll do a Zoom call with the franchisee doing a tour of a warehouse so they can see this is what my 7,000 square foot warehouse has with $500,000 in inventory. Then, we went to, last week we went to San Diego on the other part of that call and saw Phillip Rivers, the football player's $4 million mansion overlooking the Pacific Ocean. So just being able to really get a feel for my team as well as what we do in the field and get a feel for, you're going to be working with some of the most upscale luxury properties in the U.S. It just has really been kind of blown me away as far as being able to tell the story about show homes. And so I'd say for those of you who aren't using technology and doing those virtual meet the team days to really tell your story, it's been extremely powerful for us.
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic insight to close on because the reality is us as human beings have become forgiving. Like this is almost the new version of breaking bread because of restrictions, and we're okay with it. Yep. The last data point that I want to say, because I think it brings it up about are you owning the opportunity and some of the leads that you're seeing? CNBC reported today that roughly 11% of those who have lost their jobs are not going to be reemployed by those employers. That means 17.6 million people are going to be on the streets looking for their next thing. If 1% of those has any interest in franchising, we're talking about 176,000 human beings that could potentially fit into a franchise brand. For the brands that own this and make sure their message is crisp, listen to the advice Matt just gave, I think there's big opportunity here. And we're seeing that with show homes. So as it's a very complex thing on the brain because we're still battling COVID. There's no doubt about that. Businesses are still battling to stay afloat, but there's opportunity on the other side of this, and this is an example of it. Matt Kelton, appreciate the time.
All right, guys.
Charles, I'm Nick Powles. Take care.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon. All right, thanks. Bye.